It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Abel Chendo. Thanks a lot for joining us on another beautiful Sunday. Yes, politics is still heavy in the air. A lot of defections are still making the news. And in the past week, we did see the official defection of the Akwa Ibom State Governor, moving from the PDP to the APC. And we did hear the ultimatum he gave members of his government a week before, saying that anybody who doesn't move into the APC with him would have to resign. And we did see I think at least one commissioner resign his appointment, saying he wasn't going to be moving along with that. But that's basically the story of the nation as we speak today. A lot of politics is being discussed, and for a lot of people, it's quite jarring, considering the fact that the general elections are not until at least 2 years from now, or maybe a year and a half. We still have a lot of economic issues to tackle. Insecurity is heavy on the minds of a lot of people. But politics has taken over, and what does that mean for the average Nigerian who is still struggling on a daily basis to get a good meal on their table? We're currently celebrating Salah across Nigeria and with the Muslim faithful across the world, and of course, happy Salah to all of those who are watching. But I feel like this holiday has also been a reflection of the economy. Most people have, for the first time, realized how expensive a ram is, for example. And I saw a lot of people tweeting yesterday that this is the first Salah that has gone past 24 hours and they haven't had one meat to eat. But here we are talking politics. Well, I'm joined now virtually by Ojude Oba, who's a legal practitioner, and maybe he'll help me understand why we are here already at this point. Ojude, good to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Okay, it has been a long time. It's good to see you again.
Same here. So, I mean, why are we so heavy on the politics already? We haven't tackled our economic issues. We haven't fixed insecurity. For a lot of people, these two issues are top of mind for a lot of Nigerians. And some would even tell you that things have gotten worse than they were. And here we are already talking about 2027. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics promised us a rebase of the GDP, which was quite controversial, but even that hasn't been done. And here we are talking defections and politics and 2027. Why are we here?
We're here simply because the ruling party, the government in power, the people that populate that government have nothing else to do, nothing else to talk about. If they were delivering good governance, we would have been talking about good governance. If they were delivering security, we would have been talking about security. If they were delivering a productive economy, we would have been talking about that. We're here because, and we're talking politics and focusing on the political alignment and realignment of our political elite, simply because in the mind of the average Nigerian, what we have agreed is that the 4 years between 2023 and 2027 have gone to no issue. They're wasted 4 years, years of locusts, cankerworms, caterpillars, and whatever have you. We have told ourselves what the agreement is we're going to suffer this 4 years. When is the earliest possible time when we can change it? We do not trust this government to change it. When is the next possible time we can change it? 2027. And so everybody has moved away from 2023. Everybody has recognized nothing is going to change. Things are only just going to get worse. When can we stop the bleeding? When can we begin to cut out the cancer that this administration is visiting on its people? The soonest possible time is 2027. And so this is just fast forward in the minds of many people. And it is copium, it is hope that in the next 2.5 years or 2 years, we should be able to be, at this time, be ushering in a good new government to do the things that that will bring us some sort of relief as Nigerians. There's nothing else to look forward to. There's nothing else to hang hope on. There's nothing that is coming out of this administration that is indicative that there will be any change in our fortunes anytime soon. So why should we be talking about anything else? That the administration itself has focused on 2027, that all their attention is geared towards 2027, that is the politicking, rather than the delivery of governance. That is the focus of our political class. Just shows you that everybody is a write-off. If there was anything else, I'll tell you, before the 2015 elections, You could hear people from President Jonathan's administration speak about GDP growth, speak about single-digit inflation. They were telling you the roads constructed in kilometers. We're seeing monthly and quarterly budget performance analysis. We were seeing a very strong debate around the entire, economic numbers coming from the National Bureau of Statistics. We're seeing CBN giving a monthly, quarterly, half quarterly, yearly analysis of where the position of the government is. What are we doing now? Radio silence.
So I hear you, Lemona, and we're going to get to the government in power in a bit. But I hear you, and I feel like a lot of that has to lie with what the opposition has become. Because it's when times get testy that opposition parties are supposed to prove their mettle and show that, okay, we are the better option and we're going to, this is what we're presenting to you. And yes, we can talk all we want about the Labour Party and the other ones, but the PDP was in government for many years, has been in opposition now for about 10 years. And we saw when the PDP was in power what the opposition did. No matter how powerful our presidents were, we always had opposition governors or leaders who spoke up. This seems very different. Like I said at the opening of this show, we just had the governor of Akwa Ibom State's defect. I think with the PDP now, there's probably about, I'm not sure what the number is now, about 10 PDP governors left, give or take. And of those 10, most people know that it's just a matter of time. We've seen the governor of Osun State visit Mr. President a few days ago. That already sent tongues wagging. Nobody's speaking up. Nobody seems to be giving any sort of pushback. Mr. President, in his capacity as an opposition between 1999 and 2003, did push back to the PDP presidents at the time. None of that is happening now. Why then shouldn't the president be comfortable?
I would say two things, maybe three. First things first, I will mirror the disappointment. And I'll put my hand up here. I'm a member of the People's Democratic Party, have been for many, many years. I'll put my hands up here and I'll echo the disappointment I hear in your voice and the disappointment I know that millions of Nigerians feel at the lack of cohesion, lack of functionality, lack of direction that our party seemingly has or suffers from at the moment. It is in many ways deeply, and I'll say this with all sense of responsibility, deeply disappointing. There are many people within the party ranks, people aged 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 50 and above, 50 and below, and whatever have you, who yearn desperately to go out into the party or into the country to, scream about the works that the PDP used to do, to talk about the work that the PDP can be doing differently. It just isn't coming because there's a failure of leadership on many levels. And I think that the issues that plague the PDP are very well known in the country at the moment. So I probably won't beat that push too much. I will also say that what you're seeing when you see people like the Akwa Ibom governor defect, and I will go so far as even to say the Delta State governor before him and other governors who are doing this, what you see is a political alignment. You see people who have, as politicians, lost faith in the system. Under the PDP, at least you could function. You could go to court and you could expect justice. You could go to elections and you could expect a certain measure of credibility. What you're seeing in that political alignment, people who have lost all sorts of faith in the political, in Nigeria's entire electoral and political system, where they believe we're not going to get justice in courts, elections are not going to be free and fair, so I might as well just go to the president's party and seek the president's protection. It really is just that. It is an erosion of Nigeria's institutions between 2015 and today that has brought us there. How do I say so? In 2015, Muhammad Buhari, former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, came, attacked the judiciary, weakened the electoral umpires, didn't pass an electoral amendment bill and it was too late for it to apply to him, attacked the judiciary, weakened it. We've seen a continuation of all those sorts of things to the point where these institutions are now in a place where they fail to deliver credibility. Nobody believes that they're going to go to the courts and that any electoral malpractice is going to get corrected in the courts. And so we're well on our way to a one-party state by design. It isn't because this is what the people want. It isn't because the opposition parties, we can function much better, but it's not because we're not functioning. It is simply because by design, one, politicians are selfish. And so those who have destroyed our institutions and reigning it and lording it over people and negotiating with others and say, if you come over to our political party, we will then make these debased, these destroyed institutions work in your favor. If anything, it is a strong condemnation. It is a strong criticism. It's a strong, as much as it is a criticism on the political class and on the PDP and the elected officials who are going to the APC, it is a criticism on the government itself that the failure in safeguarding, protecting, and promoting our institutions is so monumental that nobody believes that everybody believes that outside of the APC, they cannot get justice, they cannot get freedom, they cannot get fairness. And so everybody's just going there. Nobody's doing it on behalf of the people. People are just doing it on behalf of their own selfish interests. And it is in the interest of politicians to be selfish. I'd like to say that at some point, Nigerians are going to have to learn. Politicians use us every day. Nigerians are going to have to learn, how can we use these politicians back? The people who haven't gone to APC, who are still remaining, how can we use them to get this cancer out? Until we get to that point where we're having a completely different conversation and we realize that the 2027 elections or any other elections after that are going to be the people against the political class. Nobody who is moving to the APC is talking about security. Nobody who is moving to the APC is talking about the economy. Nobody who is moving to the APC is talking about inflation. Nobody who is moving to the APC is talking about the rising cost of living, or that we are the poverty capital of the world, or that we have the most malnourished children, or the most out of school children. Nobody is talking about any of those indices. What they're talking about is master strategists. So it's the politics. They're moving for the politics, not for what the politics can bring to the people.
I hear you. Yeah, sorry to cut you, and I hear you there, because I mean, a lot of what you're saying might be factual, but I think the one danger that maybe people are not even seeing and talking about yet is what is happening in the National Assembly. Yes, we might say they're a rubber stamp National Assembly, but we don't even know what a rubber stamp is until the APC has the sort of supermajority that it can become very soon, where then things can be done. I think, I mean, because of how many people have defected, I tried to find out how many APC senators there are now. Numbers are kind of conflicting. I think it's about 64. And to get a two-thirds majority, I think it's about 73. That is not impossible to achieve with the way things are going. And when they get to that, what does that mean for a democracy where the same party is in charge of the executive? We have a National Assembly, which a lot of people are critical of not sort of checking the executive in any way, and they now have a supermajority there. And then, of course, like you said, people have lost faith in the judiciary. What next?
Let me tell you something, Ebuka. It isn't just even about the numbers. It's about the construct of the political players. And I'll show you, a number of things very quickly. I mean, I must plug in here. The last National Assembly we had that had anywhere near that had an understanding of the need for checks and balances was the National Assembly led by my former boss and my political mentor, Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki. Since then, what we've had are just individuals who are subservient, who don't even understand the purpose of their roles. And so come here and display. It is an insult to rubber stamps to call the current National Assembly a rubber stamp. It is an insult to rubber stamps. Now, I will now say it's not, when I say it's about the political construct, I don't mean it's just about the number. I mean, we must look more than the numbers. Under former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the PDP had supermajority, had majority in both houses of the National Assembly. But some of Obasanjo's biggest challengers came from within the PDP. From within the PDP. Former President Yar'Adua, some of his biggest challengers came from within the PDP. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, from the biggest challenges to his government came from within the PDP. This government, and that's where there's a substantial ideological difference between the PDP and the APC. The APC exists as a Rankadede party. The APC exists as a Baba Sope party. A leader at the top has given an instruction. Nobody else is supposed to argue. Nobody else is supposed to fight. Nobody else is supposed to condemn or even critically investigate or interrogate it. All you're supposed to do is, aye, sir, and execute. It makes no sense. Now, even with the PDP members there, and this is where there is a failure of opposition, and we must point it out, in the National Assembly, you see, nobody is opposing anything. The PDP legislators didn't even meet to discuss the illegal actions taken in respect of River State. They didn't even have a national caucus meeting. They came there, voted in favor of, and left. We hear that money was distributed. Okay, it's the same thing with the budget, for instance. Let me tell you something that people don't realize. And when you speak about the potential dangers of a railroaded National Assembly that is unable to act as a check or a balance, in 2015, the size of the national budget was what, 6 trillion or 7 trillion? The budget that President Tinubu placed before the National Assembly had 6 trillion, 6.5 trillion inserted into it by the National Assembly. The budget of the whole country barely 10 years ago was inserted by the National Assembly into the 2025 budget. It shows you the nature, and people think it's a joke. Before, we used to have to deal with what do they call it? Constituency projects. Now, we're not even dealing with constituency projects. The president is allowing a situation where actual cash is given to constituencies to hand out to people as conditional cash transfers. We all know where that money is going to. We all know what that money is going for. So we're seeing a situation where we're seeing corruption like never seen or supervised in the history of our country. But people think, oh, because you're a PDP member, that's why you are saying these things. At the end of the day, it's like rain. The rain will beat all of us. It is beating all of us. We can think and we can continue to believe that this is a group of people. Oh, sorry. Go on, Ebuka.
I mean, it's
as you can see, my blood is hot.
Yes, it's a holiday weekend. I'm sure people are trying to relax and enjoy what they can of the Salah, and we don't want to depress them too much. But what you're saying is a lot of what you're saying. I think a lot of people can relate to, and I guess it should get everyone reflecting while we are enjoying the holiday to know that okay, we still own this country, and maybe it's time for us to do a lot more than we are currently doing. Unfortunately, we have to close it out here. Maybe we'll call you back soon again so that we can have a more robust conversation. Thanks a lot, Ilemona Onaja, for joining us. As always, I wish Nigeria all the best going forward. We're going to take a break now. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Thank you.
Welcome back now once again, of course, Eid Mubarak to all those who celebrate currently. But while we celebrate the public holidays across the country, there's a part of Nigeria that is making a lot of noise today, and they have done this for decades. But in the last couple of years, the Ojude Oba Festival has become almost sort of a national grabbing attention thing. A lot of us pay attention to whether it's the fashion and the culture and the regalia and just the display of pride from the Ijebu people. And we're going to be talking about that today on the show. I'm joined here now by a cultural festival consultant and CEO of InfoGem, Otumba Ayodele Olumoko. Thanks a lot for being here today. Fresh from the festival.
Yes.
Please show them the program so that they know that we are not playing.
The brochure.
This is Ojude Oba 2025.
2025.
So you're just coming from there. Now, how's this year been? The festival this year. Even if we had to drag you out.
No. It's been an yes. At least they got to the extent where the horsemen, the Balogus are coming out, and I know I have to quickly move because of this thing. Well, this year has been an improvement on last year.
Okay.
Especially the VVIP area, that used to be very hot. is now condoned off, with
Well,
class.
we saw a lot of sponsors this year, so there's a lot of money that came in, maybe.
It's not about money.
Okay.
If you really want to look at it, it's not about money. It's about the Jebu's awareness and then their hospitality and their intention to ensure that people are well, especially the VVIP, are not sweating and they are well taken good care of. And then if you also look at the floor of the stadium, it is all red, well carpeted. Unlike
so
when you have these.
Things are way better now.
Very, very better.
Awesome.
And of course, there are goodies to be taken away from all sponsors that
you didn't bring for us.
No, have it in the car.
Before we get to all the goodies and all of that, a lot of people started, at least outside of Yoruba land in particular, maybe especially younger people now, because of social media, I started hearing about this maybe in the last 2-3 years, because they see people post it on social media and a few pictures go viral. But people don't know how much history there is behind this. So just give us a brief idea of how long this has gone on for, and is this a fashion event or a cultural event? Because people might mistake both.
First of all, it's not a fashion event. It's purely cultural event. Because if you want to distinguish between fashion and culture, you see that fashion is something that is aesthetics that is just being done. Whereas culture is the way of life of the people, how they've been, what they're doing. And that is how Ojude Oba has been. Ojude Oba has been in existence for the past since 1780.
Wow, that's centuries.
Yes, century. And it all came about it was not really planned for. It came about by the warlord called Balogun Kuku, who became a Muslim. He took on the Islamic religion. And because he's a very veritable warlord, he converted, not by force.
Yeah.
He's also very pleasant. He's also economically viable, very resilient. He converted 80% of all the Jebus. He converted it to Islam. And then he just felt, well, after about celebrating the Eid Kabir for about 4 or 5 years, he said, whew. And then people are always coming to his end. Whereas people are not, patronizing the palace. Then I felt, no. The Kabiyesi is the paramount ruler of this land. We should be going to the Kabiyesi to showcase who we are. So he now took all the Muslim people, third day after the Ileya festival, after everybody had really had their Salah something, he now took them, informed the Kabiyesi that they would like to come. Initially Kabiyesi was looking at, I hope it's not that people will now start coming with a lot of things, Togri and whatever. But at the end of the day, they visited the Kabiyesi and they were so excited. Because if you look at that festival, it's not a festival of gifts. It's a festival of camaraderie, a festival of happiness, a festival of unity, And of course, it is seen more or less like their whole New Year. And people come
Everybody
from
comes
far,
back together.
Come far and wide to be there.
Yeah.
So hence, it enhances the unity of the Jebus.
I like the word camaraderie there, because we can see it on TV now. We see everybody dressed in different I think there are different houses. Let me using the English parlance. Different houses dressed in uniforms or in their colors or ashwebis or whatever the case may be. How has it changed over the years, though? Because, we see this now. I'm sure a lot of what you're wearing now didn't exist in the 17th century, for example. But in more modern times, especially in the last maybe decade, with technology, with television, with tourism, what changes have you noticed, maybe from like the 70s and 80s when you were going back then and now, that you're maybe happy about?
You see, what has really changed is the aesthetics. Initially, because the festival is usually performed in the forefront of the palace.
Okay.
But later it became
too big.
And then during the era of Governor Gbenga Daniel, he had some words with the KBC, and the KBC said that they would like him to have a stadium in front of his house, which is still Ojude Oba, which is Ita Oba, and that is why Binga Daniel built that. And since then, a lot of things, a lot of changes have been there. The Regberegbers, who are the age group, have been dressing.
That the people will see in uniforms,
the
right?
people in uniform are the Regberegbers, that the age groups, 2 years age groups. Okay. That's why you see them coming out in a lot of camaraderie, and then they're always doing what they're doing. And then, of course, the organizers now. Those are the committees that the KBC, that the palace put in place. They now bring in a kind of competitive something by ensuring that, if you dress very well, if you perform very well, if you do this very well, you'll be given a present. So they have first, second, third.
So everybody's now trying to be their best.
Everybody are now trying to ensure that they do all that they needed to do, from within themselves.
Yeah.
Most of those people that you see, most of their dresses, they will have been sewing it from January, February, March.
Waiting for this?
Oh, yes. People come from all over.
Yeah.
But you see, the new thing that has really come in now is that a lot of people, different people who are not even the Jebus, now come down. Majority, that one has been on for over 20 years.
Yeah.
That people have been coming in. And then that's within Nigeria, domestically. But of course, now that within the last 7 years, we have had more participation from
international
outside Nigeria.
If I'm not an Ijebu person, can I be part of a regular?
Oh, there are so many Igbos because you.
Can I be part of a regular? Can I dress as one of these people and sit down there? you're welcome to everybody.
No. You see, it's open to everybody.
Okay.
But you can dress and come and be at your best.
Okay. But
like today, there is one Gen Z. There is a lady Gen Z, yes. Just like he did like Oreagba.
Yeah.
The Oreagba started last year with the smoking something and what have you. Yes. But you will see more about that lady. Gen Z, she came all the way from England.
Oh, really?
Yes. She came all the way from England and she took the show. So by next year, you'll see more invention, more innovations of people coming in. And then this year, one other thing that had really happened is on my way coming, I discovered that, this is more or less like the Durbar in the north.
Yes.
And because of the camaraderie and the ethnicity, that is very favorable, that is there, we saw some Hausa people also riding horses on the streets of.
With the festival?
Yes, I will have shown you the clip.
Oh, nice.
But outside the main palace.
So it's not just uniting the Ijebu, it's all of Nigeria.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Where they are is the root. But outside, there are other things that is actually really going on.
Do you worry, though, about, we all want our culture to travel, right? So it's a good thing that the world is paying attention. At least every time the Ojude Oba Festival is going on, the whole world is paying attention now. We're seeing the display of culture. But do you worry about what, overexposure, tourism, commercialization can do to this festival where it starts to lose what it actually is about? Because, when I started this interview, I did ask, is it a fashion event or a cultural event? Because there are people who might start mistaking it for that. Oh, I'll just wear a agbada and go and snap picture at this festival. Do you worry that it might start losing what it actually is about if people don't pay attention enough? No. There is no. We're not really bothered about that, because the Yoruba says that a culture or a tradition where you did not behave to the younger ones, just go into extinction. You understand? People of other religion, because this is not about Islam. It's more now of even Christians and the culture, traditional believers and the Muslims that are really coming around. And you see, this modern trend of corporate people coming in, it's a good thing that is rubbing favorably on the festival. Yeah. And as you can see, there's, of course, the trend, like in the past, there are always town criers. But now what do we use? We use the media, we use the social media.
and then there is awareness, and people, and then the social media people always take what they feel will suit their audience. And so that does not really infiltrate into what the Ojude Oba is all about. Because you see, the Ojude Oba is just for the Baloguns and every Ijebu guy, people to come around and pay obeisance to the KBC. And when the program starts like that, all these events that we are seeing, you can see that they are going around. When they get to the front of where the KBC is, their leader, who is always called Giwa, you can call him president, you can call him chairman, will go with about 3 or 4 people, will go to the KBC and in a traditional way prostrate, and then the KBC will pray for them. Each and every one of them.
So that's still very significant.
So it is still veritable and it's still there. So there is no mixture of anything to it. But you can't see anybody wearing suit or wearing tie or wearing Izagbada. You understand?
All the way.
It's a tradition.
I agree with you.
And of course, if you look at it, you want to look at the commerce and everything. It enhances the commerce. People are buying, you buy beads, you buy a lot of things. At the end of the day, when people are leaving, they buy. There are some people, this is when they make their billions of naira.
For the year.
For the year.
Yes.
People that sell artifacts, people that fabrics,
Ashoke.
even people that are doing baking, akara, bread sellers, and if you want the best of Gari Jabu, this is right here.
Very good marketing. Well, I guess what you're saying
it's not marketing. It's
because the culture is still the culture. The social media is probably just helping it get exposed to younger people and the world, and I think that's not a loss in any way. Correct me if I'm wrong. You led your Oshun Osogbo festival?
No, I didn't lead the Oshun Osogbo festival.
Were you a part of it at any point?
I didn't lead the Oshun Osogbo festival. You see, that's one of the things we need to correct.
Yes.
The Oshun Osogbo festival is the way of life of the Osogbo people.
Yes.
You understand?
Okay.
The person that led the Oshun Osogbo festival is the Ataoja of Osogbo land. That's the king of Osogbo land. And then we have those, because that one is purely traditional festival.
Yes.
That one has other people that performs as it. You have the virgin votary maid, who is the Aruba, But of course, I am one of those that champion.
Okay, you champion.
I champion the selling of our tradition to Nigeria.
Yeah.
And that is where I actually really started from.
Yeah.
About 31 years ago.
Yeah.
My corporate organization happened to be the ones that are marketing it.
Oh, okay.
At that stage, initially, it was very, very difficult because, you go to a corporate organization, come and support Oshun Osogbo, they will say, some people will say, no. Another people will say,
we don't want.
The people will say, the Christians will say, God forbid. You understand?
Yes.
But you see, with the way and manner that we have done the marketing, we are the marketing consultants.
People understand that it's more about the culture now.
Of the culture, because we have to bring in things that will enhance, the Oshun Osogbo festival. Like other things like playing of games, programs for the youth, program for the children, program for the women, program for men, Ayolopo game, something, football, and then we brought in the music concerts where different musicians from different genre of music come in and play all day for almost about 1 week, 2 weeks. Of course, that adds to the economic value of Oshun Osogbo Festival.
Thank you very much, sir. Looking forward to seeing all of the visuals.
Right now, we're doing Olojo Festival.
Okay.
We're the consultant to the to the Oni of Ife since he came in as the.
So you do a lot of this sort of consulting.
Oh yes, that's what we are.
To sell the culture.
We are the integrated marketing communication people in Nigeria.
Awesome.
We get not only corporate being, we get people that are really inclined, to support our culture, and then we let them know that this thing, yes, there are adherents that are there, but there are people who just want to be there and do the cultural and tourism things.
Thank you very much, sir. Looking forward to all of your good work, and of course, congrats to the Jebu people and everybody who's attending the Ojude Oba Festival currently. And we're looking forward to all the visuals and continue to celebrate Nigerian culture for us. Thanks for all you do.
Yes, I want to also thank you for promoting culture and tradition.
Very important.
You know, which is also what we're looking at. It takes most of our people out of the, most of our younger ones out of the things that are bad and they feel that.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Let's talk entertainment, and I'm joined now by actor, movie producer. Sounds nice. Producer. Because she just had a movie release that's making the rounds in cinemas currently. My Mother is a Witch, not my mother, or her mother. But the name of the movie is My Mother is a Witch. Irele is here with us. How you doing? Congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
I think we need to announce the movie because boldly.
That's right, here, everywhere
they
I go.
must see it. How's it been? How's it been, this journey of producing, before getting to this point even? What even made you want to do it? Because it's such a daunting thing, you know, especially with the way Nollywood works. You can make projections, but you know you have to fix things as you go.
As you go, yes.
You know, what made you decide to do it?
Okay, so from the moment I got into Nollywood as an actor, right, beforehand, I actually used to run an event management company. So when I started acting and I started noticing, like, you know, how people were doing behind the scenes and all that, and I'm like, this seems like something I would really enjoy doing, coming from doing like event management and all that. And I kept watching people, and over the years, I was like, okay, you know what? I think this was like 3 years into acting. I was like, I'm going to do my first production. And I had people around me who were already doing it so greatly, like Desmond Elliott, Emeka Duru, people like that. And then I started producing like on a smaller scale. So far, I believe that I have produced over 15 movies. Yeah, so I have a lot of movies on TV. And then I just got to a point where I was like you said, you can plan, have a tight production, plan everything in pre-production, but once you get on set, chaos. So anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Every single thing that can go wrong will go wrong. And for me, I like fixing problems as well. So for me, it's,
Not to me. I like problems to be fixed.
Oh, no, I like fixing
because
problems.
I produce as well, not a movie, a TV show, and I know how daunting it can be. But sorry, go on.
No, but I absolutely enjoy it. I love the chaos of it as well, and making sure that everything comes to light. And then seeing the final product as well, it just gives this fulfilled feeling. So me getting to this point of saying, okay, let me do on this larger scale, I wanted to do a story that was not just another story. I wanted to do something that would actually, you could resonate with, something that people could relate with, because I love doing relatable stories. And that's kind of how My Mother is a Witch was birthed. The title, I would say, have you watched the film? The title, when you watch the movie, you'll be able to understand why this title, because it's literally, for me personally, the film is like my character's, I feel like it's like a memoir for my character, and she's telling people how she feels about her mother, and that's how we came up with this title.
Nice.
So, and the entirety, without giving anything away in the film, it's literally a story that everyone can relate to. Everyone who either has tough parents, has experienced tough love from their parents, or has seen tough love being given around them. So I feel like every single person
would relate to it
in some way. And I wish you had watched it, but that's all right.
I promise you that I will. You want to drag me on national TV?
Yes, I want to drag you. But it does have amazing performances. Messi Aigbe is in it, myself, Timini Egberson, New Akpofore. It's an amazing film.
Awesome. We'll come back to the movie at the end of this, but let's just go back. How long have you been in the industry for now?
9 years.
9 years?
Yes.
Was that always the plan?
No.
Sort of, how did you just stumble on it?
I would say that this acting chose me. Let me put it that way. So from my background, I went to Bowen University, studied sociology. From before then, I always used to be in front of the camera. I used to do like commercials, a lot of TV commercials, modeling, things like that. And then I did a particular like appearance in a music video. Adekunle Gold,
yes,
Sade.
yes.
And that was the first time that I had to be in that capacity of like, you would know, it's like an acting.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever did it. And after that, my manager who had gotten me that job was like, people kept calling him like, does she act? Does she act? I'm like, I can't act, oh. I don't know how to do it, oh. And he just said, you know what, just try it. I started going for auditions, started meeting people, and one thing led to another. And then I went ahead to do my master's in between all this. I tried to work. I worked as HR manager at a procurement company. That didn't last 4 months because I just felt like this wasn't what I wanted to be doing. And I went back to acting. I went back to being in front of the camera. And yes, 9 years later, I'm here.
Has it been what you thought it would be, even if it chose you? Because it's a tough industry.
Yes.
And I ask this specifically now, and I've asked this to a couple of people who have come here recently, with sort of the changes that have happened in the last 2 years, you know. I guess it started from COVID. Cinemas shut down, and they've not really come back since then, right? Yes. The economy hasn't helped either, you know. Tickets were 500, 1,000 before. We know how much they cost now. Streaming sort of tried to fill that gap, but we had this streaming drama last year where two major ones sort of pulled back from the country. Yes. Suddenly YouTube is the space. Now people are wondering, YouTube? Is that where we're, you know, so how do you feel today about, you know, the industry you fell in love with, the industry that chose you, and where it is currently?
So I feel like today even though, like you said, there's certain, we've faced a lot of things in our industry over the years. And like I was saying before, this movie, I actually had in mind to make it for straight to streaming. Because it's not like a 10-cast film. It's a blockbuster.
Oh, sorry.
It's a blockbuster, please, thank you.
Wrong choice of words.
But it's a minimal cast type of film.
Okay.
And obviously hearing about the pulling back as well affected. But now being in the cinemas every weekend, seeing how well our movies are doing.
Being received,
Yes, I'm very proud of that. I know that we do have our challenges and all that, but I'm also proud of YouTube being the new thing because it just shows that we would always find a way to make it work. We would always find a way to keep growing our industry. And I'm so proud of every single producer who's not relenting and who's not giving up. We're just going to keep doing it and keep finding a way to keep pushing our films.
So you're not worried in any way?
I am worried. I wouldn't lie that I'm not worried because, I mean, everybody should be worried. But I'm also confident because we have generally even improved our production value. We've improved everything that we're doing. And I do see a brighter future for us. We're getting the funds from YouTube. People are making money off the YouTube films.
Are they making good money?
Good. Yeah.
Good enough, I guess.
Good enough. Good enough. We do want to be able to do bigger films and things, but I do hope that the streaming platforms would find a way to, you know, I feel personally that they had to take that step back to recalibrate and re-strategize, like, okay, what are we really doing? But I do know that, see the films that we have out in cinemas right now with My Mother as a Witch, Ori, Yaloje, everything. I'm off to the cinemas to ICM once I'm done with this to sell my film. I feel like the streaming platforms would look at it and know that they're missing out on a lot if they actually don't come back.
No, quality is definitely great. I have to say that.
Yes.
You know, my worry has just always been, you know, is the economy. I mean, we all know what the country is going through, and that is going to reflect on all sectors, you know, and you need that disposable income to support the arts.
Industry,
Which brings me to my next question. This is not necessarily directed at you, but at the industry. We've always heard these stories about, oh, do they really make as much money as they say? You know, all these figures they post, people post 1 billion today, 600, and people say, why don't you people show us how you track, you know, this money things? Is the industry healthy enough financially with the returns from the cinema? Are these figures real that we see? You know, I mean, we saw one at the end of last year. Everybody was like, huh? Why am I not producing already, you know? Why do you think people have doubts?
You know, people fear what they don't understand and what they can't see. And I totally understand that. Going into the cinemas every weekend, even if I was never someone to doubt the figures, but going into the cinemas every weekend, I see how much people flood the cinemas. I'm literally in the cinemas, and right now I have 2 showing times at ICM, which is 5:20 and 7:20, sold out, full to the brim with people.
Wow.
Irele sold out.
And that's
she has
one cinema.
That's one cinema, sold out to the brim. Five showing times already sold out. The people actually come out. I do know that the economy is not what it used to be. We hope it does get better, but people still want to connect to something.
And people want an escape.
Yes.
We don't have much leisure in this country, to be honest.
Exactly.
It's not like we have parks where we can go and sit down and
There's
chill.
not a lot of things. So these figures are the figures, and seeing it and getting my back end, and they're very detailed. With the producers, we see our figures and we see how our numbers coming. We see where we need to focus on. We see how we need to re-strategize, do meet and greets, things like that. But the figures that you talked about, I have a feeling you're talking about like ending of last year, which is December. We need to understand that in
December
those
is
times,
different.
so you would have those numbers.
I didn't necessarily doubt them, but people were saying, it's not possible. And I'm just like, it's December.
It's December.
People literally saved the entire year for December.
We need to actually have a census to know how many people come into the country, the exact figures, because those people, they come and they want to connect.
They're also a factor,
Yes, they want to connect to whatever we have as well. They're going into the cinemas. So the numbers are the numbers.
How much did you spend to make this film? She took a deep breath.
I did take a deep breath because, Lord help us. The total budget of the film is over 300 million. And I did partner with Anthill Studios,
Wow.
Because I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that was authentic. So we literally had to fly the entire cast. And some of the crew, we used a lot of the crews, but we all went to Benin. So imagine even the logistics of that was quite a lot. And we had to take that step to make it authentic. I did a very Benin-centered film, an Edo-centered, let me not say Benin, Edo-centered film. I could have shot it in Lagos and probably wouldn't have had to spend that much.
But you wanted that.
But I wanted that. And the truth is, I'm not regretting doing that. I might not be where I want to be with my figures in cinema right now, but I'm having, as a creative, you want people to watch it and connect with it. And I'm having that. I'm very happy. I want to make my money, definitely. I want to break even. I want to make my profits, yes.
Knock on wood.
But, yes, knock on wood. But seeing that and taking that risk to do that and getting the response I'm getting from people are proud. People are sending me messages. Thank you, FA, for making our own story, for making an Edo story, for going back to the land to do it. So those are the steps, those are the risks that a lot of producers should try to take, and I'm happy I took that.
So you'll do it again?
I would do it again. I'm planning another one already. Yes.
Back to back.
Yes.
Still from your roots or something completely different?
Still from my roots.
But a different story, of course.
Yes, definitely. A different storyline, different genre probably as well. But I still want to make sure that, because I don't really see a lot of Edo people doing that.
That's very important. So
I'm trying to make sure that whatever I do, two things that I want to always put in my film: my roots and autism, because I'm an advocate for autism awareness, because I'm sure you know my brother Ben. So I always make sure that they have those two things every single film that I'm going to be doing moving forward.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That's definitely beautiful.
Thank
Very
you.
well done.
Thank you.
Back to the movie now.
Yes.
Where can we see it?
It's
everywhere
showing,
in the country.
Is this my camera? It's showing in all cinemas nationwide, everywhere in the country. It's out in cinemas. Please go out and watch My Mother is a Witch.
Yes. It's about a week plus, 2 weeks?
This is my third weekend.
Oh, third weekend.
Yes.
3 weeks now in the cinema, so you have no reason not to, like me. I was busy, that's my story. But I will definitely see the week coming, and I'm looking forward to seeing your work. And what's next after this?
Many more films to come.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep going, keep acting as well, because I would always go back to being that actor, because I love being in front of the camera. So I'm still going to go back to being that actor, still going to keep with my autism awareness. Yeah. Just everything.
Does producing make you a better actor or a more critical actor of the production?
A more critical actor.
So definitely. Is that a good thing, though?
See, it's weird because, well, when you're on other people's productions, then it might not always be a good thing, depending on...
you can see things.
You can see things, and then if you start talking, it might be like, your own is too much, why are you talking so much? But for me, especially if, like, whatever project is on, I think it's a positive, because I'm going to be in every single project looking at it like it's mine and try to make sure that we get the best out of every single thing that we're doing. So I see it as a positive. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for stopping by. How's your brother doing, by the way?
Thank you so much. He's doing fantastic.
He's very well.
He's doing good.
My regards to him. My love to him. And thanks for all you do.
Thank
Ladies and
you
gentlemen,
so
you heard it here.
much.
My Mother is a Witch is showing across cinemas in Nigeria. Go support it. It's a different kind of story. And you won't see a Lekki Ikoyi Bridge.
No, not at all.
Thank you very much, Efe.
Thank you so much, Erica. It's really nice to be here.
And like I always say, you can follow the conversation on social media. Please use the hashtag #RubbinMinds when you send us a message. I'll see you next Sunday.